in trouble. I just joined the army now.
Okay. So, did you steal from the JCPenney here?
Yes.
You did? Why? You don't know? Okay. And you've done this before? This is
on September 11th, 2023, police were called to a JCPenney in Plant City, Florida, after one 8-year-old newly enlisted soldier was caught concealing nearly $150 in merchandise and resisted store security during the recovery. Was the detention lawful? Were her rights properly protected? And what does a misdemeanor charge mean for someone who just signed up to serve their country? Stay with us.
And a bra. And she ripped the tags off, put them in the Dickies pants that she had, and just hung it up there. Then came back around, walked the entire store again, picked out more items, went back in, concealed more items.
Okay, she's ripping tags off of everything?
For the most part, yeah.
Okay. Is it all on video?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I mean, not in the fitting room.
Obviously not the fitting room, but the selecting and then passing all points of sale?
Yep.
Where'd you guys stop her? Right here, these doors?
Yep.
And who was it that stopped her? Was it you and someone else?
Me and yeah.
And then explain how that was when you stopped her.
So at first she was denying stuff.
Okay.
I told her who I was, JCPenney asked protection, asked her what she did with the stuff. She kept denying stuff. She was like, oh, I'll just show you. Real antsy. And like came back in here and I'm like, no, like just come into the office with us. And once we came in, she freaked out.
What'd she do?
She's just antsy and wouldn't tell us where the stuff was at. And then finally she was like, okay, like I got it. And she took it out of her bag, gave us all the stuff. We did have to go look for like the box for like elf and stuff. Mm-hmm. But the tags we were able to recover because she would just stick them in the pants that she didn't want. Mm-hmm. And I kept trying to go for her bag. So she'd be chill and then she would start freaking out, talking about I can't get in trouble, I'm in the military, things like that. And then she'd try to go for her bag and yeah.
Did she ever tense brace when you guys had to control her with when you guys like brought her into custody, right? Or protective mm-hmm. custody because of the shoplift, right?
Yeah.
Did she ever tense brace, try to kind of evade you guys at all?
Yes.
She did?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you elaborate on how that was? I'm just trying to, if we can, we're going to charge her with that too, so.
She just kept trying to reach for the bag, so we're thinking that it's not so much
something in there that, okay.
Yeah, it's not so much that she would go.
She wasn't very cooperative, in other words, right?
Yeah.
So she was just bracing, tensing.
The reaching for the bag part, because we don't know what she had in her.
Correct. Okay. Do you guys have her in handcuffs, or just had her person and walked with her?
Yeah, we don't have her.
Right, I was going to say,
yeah, she was just free, and then she started freaking out when she knew that you guys were coming, and then she was like, no, because she handed us a bag at first, willingly, so we put it on top, and then she like freaked out. Okay. I was like, no, I can't be here, and grabbed her bag, and we don't know what she had in there. And then that's when she freaked out, and that's when I called 911.
Okay. What is your first name? Awesome. Who was the deal with the value? What was the whole stuff? It's on the receipt, right?
Yeah, I have the receipt, but it's about 140 or something.
So, I heard that something was going on between you guys before I got here. You guys are arguing or whatever, fighting and stuff. Listen, if you're cool with me, I'll be cool with you. So don't play any silly games or shit like that, because I don't want you getting yourself into more trouble than you could possibly be in.
I don't want to get in trouble. I just joined the army now.
Okay. Let's walk over here. You have any weapons on you? No weapons, okay. So right now you're just detained, right? This doesn't mean you're going to jail. We gotta work on this. I gotta work on a couple things, okay, just to figure out what's going on. However, I need to ask you some questions pertaining to what happened, okay? For that, I need to read you your Miranda rights, okay? I need you to just take a seat in my car, though. In the meantime, you have nothing on you. Okay, do me a favor. You're gonna grab the side of your shirt and you're gonna lift up a little bit. I just wanna make sure there's nothing on your pockets that I can physically see. Okay. Now turn around in a complete circle. Okay. There's nothing there?
No.
Okay. Obviously, I'm gonna have a girl come check you out, so. Take a seat. Alright. So, I'm gonna read you your Miranda rights, okay? If you have any questions, just ask me what it means, okay? I'm gonna try to elaborate it for you while I read it to you, just so that you're on the same page, okay? Have you ever been read your rights before? Okay. So, I'm gonna elaborate for you while I read it to you, okay? You have the right to remain silent, okay? Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. So, things that you say afterwards, right, I can use against you, or the court can use against you to prove you guilty, okay? That's why they say, that's why you have the right to remain silent, okay? You have the right to consult with an attorney before you make a statement or answer any question, and the right to have an attorney present during questioning, okay? If you want an attorney but cannot afford to hire an attorney, one will be appointed to represent you before and during questioning free of charge. Meaning that, like, public defenders, they're free. So if you need an attorney before you want to talk to us, they're free. They'll call you whenever and they'll figure that stuff out for you, okay? Meaning that I will not ask you a question until there's one for you. You understand? Okay. You may use any of these rights at any time before or during questioning, and you may stop the interview at any time. If you say that you want to talk, I ask you a question you don't like that I asked, you don't want to answer it, or you think it's going to get you in trouble, then don't say anything. You don't have to. You can stop right there and be like, I'm done. Okay? That also gives you that option. Okay? Do you understand these rights? Okay. Are you willing to answer questions or make a statement without an attorney being present? So, like, are you willing to talk? Pretty much is what that means. Okay. Okay. Has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or promised you anything to cause you to answer questions or make a statement? Has anyone threatened you, coerced you?
The guy said that he could literally throw me in the ground and I don't know if that counts.
I'm talking about me reading this to you. Okay. All right. So did you steal from the JCPenney here?
Yes.
You did? Why? You don't know. Okay. And you've done this before? This is not the first time?
Just one time.
Is that a Walmart? Who showed up to that? PCPD or us?
Not you guys. It was just like a regular.
Was it police from Plant City?
Yeah.
Plant City Police Department? Okay. And it was the same, you had like a process you had to do to get out of there?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, we'll see I'll try to see what I can do for you. You might qualify for us, you might not, it depends. But I'm going to work on that right now. I'm going to turn the AC on so I don't overheat in here. I'm going to go finish my paperwork and we'll figure it out for you, right?
Is there a way to get my phone to text somebody?
Not right now, but when I'm done, we'll figure that out for you, alright? Everything's in there, you have no drugs in your bag?
No.
Nothing like that? Alright. Just give me a couple minutes, alright? I'll turn the AC on for you.
Porque fui a una tienda y me robé unas cosas. Tus llaves de tu carro, le dije al señor dónde está tu carro parqueado por el dealers.
¿Cuál dealer?
El de acá por donde está mi trabajo.
Tu puta madre, ¿qué puta estás diciendo, cabrona? Tu pinche madre, te doy pinche carro para que estés bien, cabrona. Pinche, ahí tú no vales verga, tú cabrona.
Did you speak English?
Madre.
Alright, is your mom... Do you live with your mom and dad? Or either of them?
I live with both.
Okay, let's call your mom, alright? What's her contact? Recent?
Just go to on the search. MAMA.
Okay. Does she speak English?
No.
No? Okay. Because I don't speak Spanish, alright? I know a little bit, but that's about it. Just tell her to come pick up the car. How long, if she can.
Yeah. Is there any way that you could leave the keys inside of the car?
It's up to you, it's your car. You want to do that? We can do that. I can leave your stuff in the car too.
No, just leave my...
like your personal belongings, I can put it in your trunk of your car so put it this way. If you bring everything with you to jail, right, they're going to put it in some area where you're going to have to pick it up when you're out of jail. It's a pain in the butt, okay? So if it's easier to leave it in your car with the car keys so someone takes your car and brings it home, you can have all your stuff there and not have to worry about it. Especially, I won't throw your vape away.
I don't care about that.
Okay, so what do you want to do?
I just want to keep my stuff.
You want to keep your stuff with you? Okay. You want to put the keys in the car?
Yeah.
Okay, where in the car do you want to put it? We'll drive over to it, but tell me no.
I have a vape in there. I don't know if I can throw the vape. I don't want my parents to know that I'm doing that.
I can hide it in your car for you if you want.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
Just like throw it out. Just throw
You
it
might throw them away? Throw them away? Alright, we'll do that for you. Alright? Alright. Anyone else you want to call real quick? Or is that it? We're good? No boyfriends. We're not calling boyfriends or anything like that. Like family that can pick up your stuff.
Just my mom is the only one. She's not answering.
Alright. Is your dad working right now or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the keys, you can just leave them in the car. The vape, I just want it out.
Where do you want me to put the keys in the car? Somewhere not visible, right?
Like on the little thingy on the side.
On the door? Which side? Driver or passenger?
Driver's side.
Okay. Where's the car at?
By dealers. It's a blue blue Silverado.
Blue Silverado.
2018.
Alright. You drive that to and from here all the time? You get yourself in a lot of trouble doing that. Don't do that. I understand you gotta get to work and stuff, but...
My parents license and nobody wants to like help me out, so I can't.
Are you still working? So see if you can get an Uber to the courthouse and see if you can take a class for that license. You know what I mean? Well, I wouldn't arrest you for something like that, but there are cops out there that would. Okay, so I don't want you to get yourself in trouble. Obviously, that's not what we're here for right now, but in the future, right? But
So whenever I am released, I guess. How long is it?
it should be within the night. So as long as everything goes well, okay? I got another phone call from your dad. Answer it or no?
Papá,
¿Dónde dejaste mi carro?
está acá en dealers. Yo les dije a los policías que le dejen las llaves adentro, ¿ok?
Déjame las pinches llaves en el carro.
Por
No me
eso,
dejes adentro
por
del puto
eso,
dealer.
por eso le dije que las dejen en el carro.
¿Cuál pinche dealer? ¿En el pinche mall?
Sí.
What's he saying? What is he
Che
saying?
madre, que te lleve ya la chingada, pendeja.
What's he saying?
He just...
Okay. I heard pendeja, I heard puta madre, all that shit. So what else is he saying besides swearing?
Just to leave the keys in the car.
Is he coming or after work?
He's not gonna come.
Okay.
They don't want to see.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna figure this shit out. Okay. We're gonna drive over to the car. And we'll put everything in there and we'll go from there. All right. I saw the girl coming to check you out. Sometime she's coming. We're waiting on her to get here. All right. You can stay on this side though. Stay on this right side. Makes it easier for when she gets here.
All right, now let's break this down legally. The foundation of this entire case rests on one question. Was the theft legally complete? Under Florida Statute 812.015, retail theft is not complete until the suspect passes all points of sale without payment. Loss prevention confirmed on camera that the subject exited through the store doors, satisfying that element in full. Without that confirmation, the charge could not exceed attempted theft. With the theft established, the next question is whether the detention itself was lawful. Florida Statute 812.0153, the Merchant's Privilege Statute, authorizes store employees to detain a suspected shoplifter, but only in a reasonable manner and for a reasonable time. When the subject alleged that an LP employee threatened to physically throw her to the ground during detention, that qualifier becomes the legal fault line between a protected detention and civil tort liability. The statute that authorized the stop may be the same one that exposes the merchant to a lawsuit. Now, does that alleged threat affect the admissibility of anything she said? Under Illinois versus Perkins, statements made to private actors before law enforcement arrives are not subject to Miranda exclusion. And under Colorado v. Connelly, coercion by a private party does not automatically render a confession constitutionally involuntary. Her admissions to LP staff likely remain admissible, but if the threat is substantiated, JCPenney faces significant civil exposure under the very statute that authorized the detention. Moving to the officer's contact, the next checkpoint is Miranda. Miranda v. Arizona 384 U.S. 4361966 requires that before any custodial interrogation begins, a subject must be advised of the right to silence, the right to counsel, and the right to stop questioning at any time. Custody attaches the moment a reasonable person would not feel free to leave, which was clearly the case once she was seated in the patrol vehicle. The officer's delivery was thorough, plain language, and fully compliant. Before placing her in the vehicle, however, the officer conducted a visual safety check shirt lift, full rotation. Terry v. Ohio 392 U.S. 11968 authorizes exactly this. A limited protective measure when an officer has reasonable, articulable suspicion of a safety threat. Given that LP had reported the subject aggressively reaching into a bag with unknown contents, the check was legally grounded and tactically appropriate. Post Miranda, the subject waived her rights and admitted to the theft. She also disclosed a prior shoplifting incident at a Walmart involving the Plant City Police Department, and that disclosure carries direct legal consequences. Under Florida's sentencing guidelines, a prior record affects both diversion eligibility and sentencing range. What began as a voluntary admission effectively narrowed every favorable option available to her defense. The second charge, resisting without violence, is governed by Florida Statute 843.02, which prohibits knowingly opposing or obstructing an officer in the execution of a lawful duty without offering physical violence. Florida courts have consistently held that tensing, bracing, or pulling away can satisfy this statute. The resistance here, however, was directed at LP personnel, not the officer, raising a legitimate prosecutorial question. Can this charge sustain on LP testimony alone without requiring their court appearance, That question is not procedural formality, it is case strategy. Finally, the subject's military enlistment introduces a dimension that extends well beyond this courtroom. Under Department of Defense Instruction 1332.14, a civilian criminal conviction, even at the misdemeanor level, can initiate enlisted administrative separation proceedings. Military status is not a legal defense to civilian charges. Here, it functions as a compounding liability. The very identity she invoked as a reason for leniency is the one most damaged by the outcome of this case. That closes the legal analysis and brings us to the grades. The responding officer receives a B+. Miranda was delivered precisely and in plain language. The Terry frisk was legally justified, and arranging a female officer for the formal pat-down reflects both constitutional awareness and professional discipline. De-escalation remained consistent throughout the encounter. 2 points, however, hold him from a full A. The informal assurance that he would not arrest her for driving without a license creates selective enforcement optics, and the LP threat allegation was never formally documented, leaving a gap that could later be used to challenge the voluntariness of her cooperation. The subject receives a C+. She cooperated fully with the officer after Miranda and offered no resistance to law enforcement that counts. But the shoplifting was not impulsive. 2 fitting room visits, systematic tag removal, concealment in decoy garments. This is organized conduct. The prior Walmart incident confirms a pattern. The resistance against LP generated a second charge, and invoking military status as a shield served only to highlight the institutional consequences she now faces. The C+ reflects genuine compliance with law enforcement, weighed against the full picture of her own decisions. Before we close, there are lessons here worth carrying forward. The law draws a sharp line between what feels unfair and what is actually unlawful, and in this case, that line cost her twice. Resisting store security, even before police arrive, is a separate criminal charge under Florida Statute 843.02, one that survives regardless of what happens to the underlying theft count. Silence after Miranda costs nothing. A voluntary admission closes every door. And for anyone in uniform or aspiring to serve, a civilian misdemeanor is not a civilian matter alone. It travels into the military justice system, where the consequences can outlast anything a county courthouse imposes. The courtroom was not the only arena where this case was decided. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic that you would like us to discuss in the comments below. Thank you for watching.